It's been a really long time since I've done a video in the Cobra, and it really feels good to finally have it back. And those of you that are familiar with the channel and watch the videos regularly, you know that I had the Vmp Gen3R put on. So I'm going to go over, and those of you that are stopping in for the first time, it has a Vmp Gen3R on it now. So I'm going to go over all the things with a blower that I like and don't like. Do I wish that I had gone with something else? Is it worth getting a Vmp over something else? And just my general thoughts about it. For those of you that don't know, probably the first thing that pops into your head is what did it put down for numbers. I'm not going to go over my entire mod list in the video. I'm going to put it down in the description. I don't want this to go way too long. But the very first pull that this did on the dyno with 93 octane with the 3.3 pulley at 19.4 pounds was 700 horsepower on pump 93. That was way beyond what I was expecting power-wise and boost-wise. As far as the final numbers go, it of course had to be dialed back a little bit from that 700 mark. It was starting to lean out in the upper RPMs, and it just was not a safe place for it to be on 93. So the final numbers settled at, and I'll throw up a dyno sheet as well so everyone can see it. It settled at 676 horsepower and 640 torque. The car was dynoed on Labor Day of 2021, so just recently from the time that I am putting this video out. This car definitely makes a lot of power now. I was generally expecting somewhere in the 650 range, somewhere in there. All of it depends on the dyno that you go to, the weather conditions for that day. There are a lot of external factors that come into play when it comes to what your final numbers are going to be. So it's not always comparing this mod and this mod will equal this amount of power when you do it. There's, of course, factors that come into play with all of this. Now, I don't think for a minute that I would be unhappy if I had gone with a Whipple 2.9. I probably would have had very, very similar results. And I've gone over this multiple times in other videos, so if you want, I actually have another video and I'll tag that up at the top of the video. As far as the VMP itself, I have absolutely zero regrets about getting it. I have very, very little seat time driving the car since it was tuned and getting it back. This is only the second time that I've been in the car, but it just lays down a lot of power, and I'm just not used to the amount of torque and how easy the car wants to go sideways now, and the fact that I'm getting wheel hop now where I wasn't getting wheel hop before. I think a lot of that has to do with the R888Rs that I have on the back. We're probably holding the power pretty well when I was at 480, but now that I'm at the upper end of 600 and almost at 700, they're not doing too well. So that's something that's probably going to be addressed for next spring, because it's too late in the year now for me to get another set of tires and get them put on, and just it's really not worth it at this point. Good thing I have good brakes, holy crap. And the tires, I'm actually going to Fore right now to get new front tires put on. My front tires are trash, so those are going finally. That was just a small pull, and it definitely hits hard, and you definitely feel it. But the thing that really surprises me the most is just how quick it gets up to speed. It just... Those of you that have aftermarket blowers, understand what I'm talking about. I came from a Pulley Eden to a 2.6 Gen 3R. That's a big step. And with a Pulley Eden, it would get up to 80, 100 fast whenever I went to Mexico and did things like that. But now it's totally different now. It gets up to speed so quick. It's almost like the acceleration feel is almost overwhelming over the torque feel, because it definitely makes a lot of torque and you definitely feel it, but it just pulls so quick and so hard that it's just a lot for your brain to really process all at one time. So if you're on the fence about whether to go with a Whipple or a VMP, definitely take this video, of course it's just my opinion, into consideration. It's a stout blower. It will put out some big numbers, and if I turn this thing up with Torco and were to do cams and long tubes and all that stuff, you're talking really big number category at that point, and I'm not sure if I'm ever going to go down that route with this car. It's a consideration, but I don't know if I'm at that point where I want to. Time will tell. But it's a very good blower, and you can't go wrong with it, in my opinion. I don't think you can go wrong with the Whipple either. But if you like the looks of the VMP more, or are more leaning towards the VMP overall, then you won't be disappointed. The Gen 3R is everything that the people in the Gen 3R Facebook group say it is. It's a very humble group. We don't talk shit about Whipple. I wish it was like that for the entire Cobra community, but we know it's not, unfortunately, but that's just how it goes. But there's a lot of good info in the Vmp Gen3R Facebook group. A lot of dyno videos, a lot of dyno results, a lot of good numbers put out there. So if you want to know more about that and you are on Facebook, I suggest going there and just, poking around, asking some questions, and a lot of good people there. If you made it this far to the end of the video, I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like the video if you did. It really does help the video out. And I'll have more Cobra stuff coming up. I have a lot of stuff planned that I want to do for videos and to help those people that are looking to buy one, along with just general things about the Terminator Cobra in general. Thank you for watching.